from the store, and then we see a collision happen. Especially first, we walking down the block, we see mad people walking, like running. We're like, what the hell going on? And then some lady, she couldn't stop talking. She said, oh, is somebody gunned this and that? So we asked questions. What was going on? They said somebody
was on the floor.
Was on the floor. He got messed up. Supposedly he got cut on the neck. And then something like that. And then after that, they said somebody's inside with a gun.
In that building.
In that building right there. They see it?
Yeah.
That building right there.
At that time, I saw people running from down the block this way all the way over here. So I obviously went outside to see what happened. I saw police shortly after that come this way. Ambulance, police, fire truck, everything coming this way. After that, I saw a group of a bunch of people grouped and crowded.
On Monday, July 28, 2025, the heart of Midtown Manhattan, one of the most secure and bustling parts of New York City, was shaken by a horrifying and unexpected act of violence. A lone gunman stormed into an office skyscraper at 345 Park Avenue, just blocks away from the iconic Rockefeller Center, and opened fire, leaving 4 people dead, including a brave NYPD officer, and one other person critically injured. This skyscraper is no ordinary office building. It houses the National Football League's NFL headquarters, as well as corporate giants like Blackstone, JPMorgan Chase, KPMG, and Deutsche Bank. This is a building associated with influence, power, and security. But on that evening, it became the scene of a chilling mass shooting that would send ripples across the city and the nation. According to police and eyewitnesses, the suspect, later identified as Shane Devon Tamura, a 27-year-old man from Las Vegas, Nevada, arrived at the scene around 6:28 p.m., just as office buildings were winding down for the day and employees were either leaving or preparing for after-hours meetings. Security footage and bystander videos showed Tamura pulling up in a black BMW, armed with a military-grade M4 style assault rifle. Without hesitation, he stormed into the building's main lobby, located at the intersection of Park Avenue and East 51st Street, and began firing. Officer Didarul Islam, a fallen hero. One of the first people he encountered was Officer Didarul Islam, a 36-year-old NYPD officer working off duty as a security guard in the building. Officer Islam was in uniform and had served the city for 4 years. Originally from Bangladesh, he immigrated to the United States and had built a life dedicated to public service. Tragically, he was fatally shot in the line of duty. He leaves behind a pregnant wife and 2 young children. Mayor Eric Adams later referred to him as a true New York hero who acted with courage in the face of unimaginable danger. The NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch echoed these sentiments, describing Islam as someone who gave his life protecting others. The gunman's movements. After shooting Officer Islam and several others in the lobby, Tamura made his way to the 33rd floor, where the Rudin Management Company operates. Witnesses reported hearing another series of gunshots shortly after the elevator ascended. On that floor, he killed another victim, believed to be a building staff member, before retreating to a stairwell, where he later turned the gun on himself, dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities recovered multiple firearms, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, and even prescription medication bearing Tamura's name from his vehicle. This indicates he may have been struggling with mental health issues, though no formal diagnosis has yet been disclosed. Surveillance and cross-country journey. What makes this case even more chilling is Tamura's well-planned cross-country journey. Investigators traced his movements from Las Vegas to Colorado, then through Nebraska, Iowa, New Jersey, and finally to New York City. Surveillance footage and license plate readers show he had been on the move for days, potentially scouting his location and planning his assault. Police sources revealed he had no known ties to the building or its occupants. At this stage, investigators believe the attack was random and not targeted at any specific individual or company, though the motive remains unclear. Is it a symbolic target? 345 Park Avenue is more than just an address. It represents the heart of American capitalism and culture. That it houses the NFL, Wall Street financial institutions, and global law firms has led some to speculate that Tamura may have selected the location symbolically, even if no specific target has been confirmed. Security experts have pointed out that the shooting raises serious questions about building security protocols, particularly in facilities that house such high-profile tenants. This tragedy adds to a disturbing national trend. According to the Gun Violence Archive, this incident marks the 254th mass shooting in the United States this year, defined as any event where 4 or more people, not including the shooter, are injured or killed. The combination of mental health struggles, easy access to high-powered weapons, and lack of coordinated interstate firearm regulation once again takes center stage in political discussions. Lawmakers and advocacy groups are already calling for increased funding for mental health screenings, red flag laws, and universal background checks, though whether this incident will spur meaningful legislative change remains to be seen. By Tuesday morning, the base of 345 Park Avenue had become a makeshift memorial. Flowers, NYPD flags, handwritten cards, and candles were placed in honor of Officer Islam and the other victims. Employees of the building, many of whom were evacuated during the chaos, have begun receiving trauma counseling. City Hall has also pledged support for the families affected, with Mayor Adams stating that New York will not forget the lives lost in senseless violence. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who represents a district in Brooklyn, also issued a statement offering his condolences and calling for bipartisan unity to address gun violence. The FBI, NYPD, and Homeland Security are working together to build a profile of Shane Tamura, his mental state, criminal history, internet activity, and whether he may have been radicalized or inspired by other mass shooters. For now, the city is grappling with unanswered questions. Why this building? Why these victims? Could it have been prevented? What is certain, however, is that this shooting has left a permanent scar on a city that prides itself on its resilience and safety. In a year where crime in New York City has been statistically lower than in past decades, this act of violence stands as a painful reminder that one man with a gun can upend countless lives in an instant. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, don't wait. Please reach out to a mental health professional or call your local helpline. And if you have thoughts on how communities and governments can prevent tragedies like this, share them in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe for more detailed coverage on important global stories.